Trump voter mass unfollows MAGA influencers.
I just went on a MAGA influencer unfollow spree, and let me tell you why. The mental gymnastics required to stand by your man under these conditions truly, in my opinion, is Olympic level. And I have followed some of these people for...
Oh my God. Are they like, you know how there was like a AstroTurf movement called Legxit or Blexit, black people exiting the Democratic Party? And Candace Owens kind of tried to do that. Obviously it didn't work when Candace tried to do this like AstroTurfed ass movement, because, you know, the point was like bringing black people over to vote for the Republicans, right? Here's another testament to woke 2.0 coming back in a big way. You got why I left the right. You got why I left the right content coming out. In all of my 12-year career, I have rarely ever seen motherfuckers make why I left the right content is always the opposite. It's always why I left the left. Oh, they got too woke, so they pissed me off, and the money was better on the other side. The very fact that there is a why I left the right movement happening, while the left isn't even doing anything meaningful to capture the attention of folks, or to punish, or to say that they're going to punish the right for doing all this shit. This is crazy.
Years admired their
movement, and it's just one TikToker. I'm not saying it's a movement, but it's a good sign.
Ability to speak
I've never seen this shit before.
out when the opinion was unpopular. But now I'm starting to think, okay, they were countering the system, but not countering the system, which is the reason why many of us voted for this administration in the first place. Here's some of my problems with this administration. The Epstein list, okay? Referring to the Epstein list as the Epstein hoax after running your entire campaign on that is a slap in the face to all of us. Do you think we are stupid? You cannot gaslight me enough into forgetting that this admin said they were going to release the Epstein list. Pam Bondi said it was on her desk, okay? We are still sending billions of dollars overseas to fund foreign wars, denying America's interest, right? We've got some problems here in the mainland. Approving PFA pesticides to be sprayed all over our fruit and vegetables. It's not limited to your fruit and vegetables.
Bro, is she leaving the right to go further right? Is that what's going on?
This is going into our soil. It's going to leak into our water supply. We are going to be drinking it. Forever chemicals are linked to hormone disruption, thyroid dysfunction, cancer. It's an atrocity. When we're talking about making America healthy again, PFA pesticides is crazy. Debt normalization.
I'll tell you what I think if she hits the Israel line.
50-year mortgages. Essentially saying your kids will never own anything ever. They will never own that little plot of land, the American dream. They're never going to own their own home. The fact that 90% of Black Friday purchases were made using a buy now, pay later like Klarna. That's also crazy. Surveillance expansion through Palantir. Think China during COVID. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, she's cooking.
That sounds extreme, doesn't it? That is how rapidly this administration is advancing AI. They're advancing it so quickly. They had to put out a statement to state governments saying, if you try to put regulations around AI, we're coming for you too. That is how much this federal government wants to advance AI and data centralization. So freaking scary. And then you can't ask anything about any of this. If you start asking questions, you were never really MAGA. You're not based, right? All this infighting is caused by Candace and Tucker. Y'all, please be so serious. Don't insult our intelligence like that, right? We might like Candace and Tucker, but they're not changing our opinions. They're just saying what a lot of us are thinking.
Woo! I'll take it. Now imagine a world where the Democrats were saying this shit. Imagine a world where there are Democrats who speak like I do on these issues. There are some, but imagine in unison, the left flank party is constantly railing against these points. What are you talking about? What I'm talking about is the fact that Democrats want to lose. What I'm talking about is every single point that she brought up is correct. Even the things that you would assume is kooky with the pesticides and shit. Even that's not wrong. Unimaginable amounts of debt that people are taking on. endless foreign entanglements that we are funding and facilitating, all of the things that Donald Trump promised he was going to do, including releasing the Epstein files, but then not actually releasing the Epstein files, now saying it's a hoax, being the biggest Israel dick riders of all time. Straight up, this administration, Israel has its hands shoved so far up this admin that they're basically moving Trump's mouth at this point. And mother still on the Democratic Party side don't want to bring that up. They don't want to bring it up. It's an 80-20 issue. It's a 90-10 issue on the base for the Democrats. What the hell are we doing? And yeah, here's Candace Owens even taking it one step further, saying no matter how hard the GOP tries to make radical Islam happen, the base doesn't care about it. We are way more concerned about Israel. You can deny reality and scream about Tucker, but the party can no longer be governed by those who refuse to acknowledge the Zionist elephant in the room. I'm just trying to spare you guys the inevitable billion-dollar ISIS is coming digital campaign wherein a bunch of online influencers suddenly pretend they are deeply concerned about the threat of radical Islam. Our concerns about the Middle East begin with the Israeli occupation of D.C. Hope this helps. Now, Candace Owens is running around with copies of the Talmudic Jew. She has the biggest audience out of any political commentator in the country. She's getting like 160,000 live concurrent viewers tuning in every damn day when she's talking about politics, when she's talking about whatever conspiracy theories she wants to talk about. And sometimes she's bringing up good points as well. This right here is maybe not the best point because I don't think Americans care about, I think Americans do care about radical Islam because they've been propagandized. And the correct point here that she is making, which Tucker also makes a lot, is that the reason as to why America cares so much about quote unquote radical Islam is because it actually suits Israel's purpose. And we know that that is the case. We know that that is the case with the likes of Tommy Robinson, for example, who is a Mossad agent in the UK, the number one Islamophobe, total fascist. And also his position is to simply shift the attention and priorities back to Muslims over and over and over again. Same thing in the United States of America. We know for a fact from the Israeli government's own focus group message tests that they realize that the Western world no longer fucks with Israel. So what they actually have figured out is a much better way to communicate the issue is talking about radical Islam, the threat of jihadism, the threat of Islamic jihadism, fomenting Islamophobia. So there is truth to this commentary. There is truth to this statement from Candace Owens once again. But it should not be left to Candace Owens to be saying these things. What Candace is doing here is correct. I mean, she's popping off. She is taking advantage of the void in the media, the void in discourse. The reality of the matter is I can't make this point because I am Muslim, okay? Because my name is Hasan. There are going to be a lot of right-wingers who won't listen to me, okay? That's just the case. But a lot of right-wingers love hearing Candace Owens say this shit. A lot of liberals love hearing Candace Owens say this shit. And Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are the people who are actually presenting this position. And this position is correct. Now, at least Tucker Carlson doesn't actually lean fully into the most insane anti-Semitic conspiracies, even though if you were to ask me, I do believe he is anti-Semitic. I mean, he's hired every anti-Semite in the book. He's too smart to never actually fully say it's the Jews. He'll just lead you down the water. But for Candace, for example, what she's doing, and the reason why I find it distasteful, the reason why I actually criticize it quite a bit, is because she's basically doing the Randy Fine thing, right? The reversal of the Randy Fine thing. Now, obviously, the Randy Fine thing is much more impactful. He's a congressperson. And also, there is systematic disenfranchisement and direct systematic racism that Muslims are subjected to, that Jews are not. So in that regard, it's almost like a role reversal, but it's not as impactful as like Randy Fine when he does Islamophobia. Just like when someone is doing anti-black racism, it's obviously going to be different than when someone is being anti-Semitic. There's no systematic disenfranchisement that you're presenting as a real threat, at least for now, against Jews living in the United States of America in contemporary society. But when she does the anti-Semitism, when she does the anti-Semitic takes as a way to combat the narratives, right, in her mind, she's basically doing the same shit that Randy Fine is doing. Same with Nick Fuentes, right? When Nick Fuentes turns around and says like, oh, I can't speak about the Jews in the way that Randy Fine, who is Jewish, speaks about Muslims, how dare you? There is like, that is consistent for some people. right? The problem here is that everybody is being insincere when they act as though we can't see what the is going on. They act like you can just put the toothpaste back in the tube. They act like the Republicans, for example, can act like they can run on hating on every minority, but then also doing DEI just for Jews, okay? That's not going to happen. That's the establishment Republicans trying to do that. They're always going to lose to the Nick Fuentes of the world, okay? Because Nick Fuentes has a more honest, more maximalist position on hating on everybody, and it's more logically consistent. Only the white folks don't get any sort of serious hate. We defend the white people, and everyone that we cut out of the equation as non-whites gets the receiving end of fascism, right? And Jews are part of that marginalized identity. And as a matter of fact, for Nick Fuentes and many others, they also literally say Jews are responsible. Organized Jewry is responsible for this kind of wokeness. You know, the Frankfurt School style narratives that Nazis also leaned into, that Jews created wokeness. They invented wokeness to destabilize and destroy the West and try to combat white supremacy, which is supreme, which is the established fact. Like, that's their attitude, right? And yeah, and they did mass migration. They did the great replacement, all this stuff. The problem is those are also incredibly damaging ideas. They're not just like silly conspiracy theories. These are conspiracy theories that have turned into very real positions and movement builders in the past that have become really dangerous, really dominant, really deadly. So in an effort to fight back against this, you have to present a logical statement. You have to say, look, man, Jews are not responsible for all the issues that you're experiencing, and that, there is no like organized Jewry that is dominating your life.